it's really that you're your own worst enemy kind of thing. You just have to get over it. Simply put, let go of the fear of being perceived by others, period.
Now, Gabby, do you go by Gabrielle or Gabby? It's the first time I see Gabrielle.
You can call me Gabby. That's my government name that's on everything.
Oh, oh, okay, got it.
It's
Very good.
That's her
Well,
prison name. Okay, got you. All right.
I guess it's my like grown adult name. I should probably start using it.
so if you run for president, what would it be?
It'd probably be Gabrielle.
Gabrielle. Okay, I like it.
I'd
Very
vote for
cool,
you.
Gabrielle.
I'd
Thanks.
vote for you.
Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for
Totally.
doing this. We were really impressed by the quality of your content and how easy it was to connect with you through the content. You really drew us in, and I wanted to quickly show your
What are you
channels
showing me?
so people can take a look. Let me grab it. Your two main channels, it's YouTube and Instagram. Is that where you
Yeah.
would say you gravitate to, right?
Mhm.
Perfect. Let me grab those and put those in the chat so people can take a look. And I'll probably show a few things as well. Let me
While you're
find
doing that,
it,
let me paint the
Gabby.
picture. Because I've stalked you a little bit, Gabby. It
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because it's like a day in the life. It's very much vlog style. And then the editing style she uses, I'm stealing because I love how you take, I assume, and we're going to ask you this, I assume you're shooting everything in landscape, which goes against what you should be doing.
Mhm.
However, she takes the landscape and pops three in a row over the top of each other, which might seem to many of you as super advanced editing. It's not that complicated, but I'm gonna let Gabby describe it. But those were my takeaways, that it's very like almost ASMR vlog style. Like I just enjoy just watching, and before you know it, I'm like drooling and watching all of your
Yeah,
videos. You do a great job. You do a really great
Thank
job.
you.
it's very good. Let me just show one, and then just so people understand what we're talking about. This is on her Instagram. Obviously, YouTube is a little longer, right? More drawn out story. But just let's just click on the first one so you all can see what this looks like. And
Turn it on.
let me um let me stop the share and then reshare because it didn't share the sound. Hold on and optimize that. There we go. Gabby, you can hear the audio? So then it circulates through. That's how you're going to find a lot of our videos very engaging. This one was really good as well.
G'day, friends. Welcome. When was the last time you felt peaceful? Like truly peaceful?
That's it. Very easy, smooth, tells a story, really good imagery. And you'll find the same thing on her YouTube. Like I said, they're just a little longer. She's got a really good following as well with not that many videos, which is
I took a lot
amazing.
down. I actually have
Oh,
208.
okay.
But
Got it. I was going to ask
yeah.
you about that,
Yeah.
but that's really good. Like your New York visit that you did 3 weeks ago, 40,000 views. That's pretty awesome. All right. So with that, my first question to you is, did you always shoot video like this from the very beginning in a story fashion, or did you grow into that?
I've vlogged since 2018, like off and on. So the storytelling and the way I shoot now with more of a filmmaking approach definitely evolved over the past couple of years. And sorry, let me turn that down. It it's evolved. I didn't shoot like my first videos are the most cringy videos you'll probably watch. It's me walking around UW going to class, and you could probably just hear me breathing because I didn't know how to do music over the video yet. Like it's taken a long time to get here. And I did archive, or those are privated. There's 208 videos on my channel, but those are only going to be released for special people in the future, maybe.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Can we go to basics here and first
Yeah.
ask, so what are you using equipment wise?
I actually have it right here. I use the Sony FX30. And before I was using a good old Canon G7X. That was, I feel like, the OG vlogging camera that everyone in my demographic talked about. I'm kind of like your daughter. I grew up on the beauty tutorials. I was watching those skits on YouTube since 2004. I always wanted to be kind of in the YouTube space, and I didn't know, but I feel like I'm in that time where I still went to school and did the whole thing of going to school, trying to find a normal job. And every time it came back to YouTube. And so I really leaned into it, bought this camera last year. This is the 11 millimeter lens, if there's any camera nerds out there too.
That was my
And
next question to you.
yeah. This is the Sony 11 millimeter lens. It shoots super wide. This is not a full frame camera. The um, the hot cameras going around now, if you're familiar, is like a Sony ZVE1. It's really marketed to like the everyday content creator. Those are
Yep.
great cameras. Honestly, the one I have is overkill, but I really wanted to get into filmmaking, so this was kind of created for a beginner filmmaker to learn more about shooting with more advanced settings and color grading, shooting with different LUTs and things like that. So still learning. This is why I got this, because it's the kind of 101 camera to cinematic shooting.
If
I
somebody
like that.
comes to you, if somebody comes to you and says, I want to emulate what you're doing, do I really need to buy a camera, or can I use this?
You can totally use your iPhone. I've seen some amazing stuff shot on, especially the 15. I still have a couple generations back, but it has Apple Log now where it shoots really flat, so you can input colors with color grading. But you can do so much on the phones now. It blows my mind every time I see someone else's video. I still use my phone. I also use this little camera, which is an Action 4. If I really don't want to kind of walk around with my big camera in public specifically, I use this little guy. I find that I liked it better than the GoPros and kind of the Insta 360 camera. I thought the quality was really good. And then my third camera is my phone. So, and then once you mix those shots in there, no one's gonna tell
Yeah,
the
that's
difference.
the bigger point.
Mhm.
So when you are out in public, because you're shooting these shots of you sitting and eating a pastry, right? Or you
Mhm.
just sitting on a bus, and you specifically said you were in New York alone. So I assume you were in New York alone, which means you're shooting your own stuff. So just set up a tripod. I,
Yeah.
I figured the answer, but I want people to hear this. Like, when you go out and you create, you're just setting up a tripod. What is your feeling about like people looking at you?
It took a long time, but you really just have to not care. And everyone has kind of their coping mechanism with this. But at the beginning, I like wearing, uh, this is like a comfort thing too. I like wearing noise canceling headphones just to like muffle the noise around me, so it feels as though I'm focused in. Obviously, I want to hear my surroundings. I'm in public, but a little bit of just so it feels like you're in a bubble. Whatever your thing is, kind of experiment and see what works for you. But yeah, there's always going to be people looking at you weird, or people thinking it's really cool. I think the one
Yeah.
roadblock that I got over is that I've been consuming YouTube and content from other creators honestly probably my whole life by now. Like, I'm the internet generation, and I would never think that they were weird if they were recording themselves in public. It was just kind of reframing it that way. I would think they're the coolest person ever, and I would respect them so much because have the
Mm.
audacity to put themselves out there. And then there's the few that are weird and want to bug you or want to mess with you. But honestly, I think once I made that mindset shift, I kind of just go for it. New York was, I got home and I realized how much I was doing like on the subways and everything. It probably wasn't the safest thing, but it's really that you're your own worst enemy kind of thing. You just have to get over it. Simply put, just stop being scared or let go of the fear of being perceived by others, period, I guess.
Who's your who are you building this for? Who are you talking to when you film this and it goes out?
I am you touched on analytics earlier, and I love that because I also, Rani mentioned to me the YouTube algorithm, which I think she got from you guys. And so I listened to it on
Yeah.
Audible, and I love how he brings up analytics. And so now I'm really deep in analytics. So my target demographic, my audience is 25 to 35. So people in this kind of growth period of life and kind of figuring things out. So I'm talking to people in my shoes, kind of navigating life after college, life after a pandemic, kind of figuring out what we want to do with their life, but also just being really open and vulnerable about it because the more you're I hate to use the word authentic because I think it's just used so much, but the more you're open,
Sincere.
yeah, yeah, the more you're sincere about how you're doing in life, and there's levels to it and how much you want to share, but the more sincerity that you're able to implement, your audience is out there and will connect with you. So I'm talking to anybody who's trying to figure out what's next, who is trying to follow whatever that dream of theirs might be. It honestly,
Hmm.
whatever. I've connected with moms in their 40s who also wanted to move to New York or want to move to Seattle, or are learning how to spend more time taking care of themselves. So I feel like I've reached a lot of different people in a lot of different ages, but my main viewers are 25 to 35.
Are you in that age range?
Yes, I'm 26 now.
I wasn't gonna go specific because I
I
was
was like,
gonna
it's
go.
okay. I used to be scared to say
And
it out loud, but it is what it is.
I want to pat you on the back because there's a lot of people sitting on this right now. They're going to watch this that do not have an audience dialed in. They want to be everything to everyone, and that will never work. And so, listen, folks, this 26-year-old has gotten into the bit. This is the future of not only our world but our industry. And this is your
Hmm.
competition who's going to eat your lunch. And I know it sounds, I don't want, between me and Tristan, I'm the aggressive one here. And I'll say it like it is.
Really? I would have
Say
not
it like it
guessed
is.
that.
And but this is what I preach about. This is what I'm talking about. I'm sitting here listening like I'm gonna learn something rather than thinking like I could be your father. You can't teach me anything. You know what I mean? But that is a problem, I think, with a lot of just humans in general. But I wanted to say that because I'm proud of you. Like that's the fact that you could answer that and dial that right in. I was like, damn. I wonder how
That
many
was a
other
good
people.
answer too.
It's a
That was a
great
good
answer.
answer. It's like as I'm trying to discover what it is that how I fit into this world, I want you to come along and try to discover that with me. That is such a honestly powerful audience that you're bringing in. Before I ask Hector's great question, or Jeff does, when it comes to the audience, how are you watching them interact with you? What does that look like? Is it through DM? Is it in the comments and then you take it to DM? What does that look like, and how is it translating into creating relationships?
I wish there was a more straightforward answer and a more sustainable way to approach it, but it's all avenues. I get DMs, I get comments, and it's up to the person to engage back. It's great having comments, but you have to respond to them. You have to take it to the next level, respond to the DMs at whatever capacity you have, and it's engaging with those creators kind of in the same space too. Is you can't just post and let go and move on. You got to also engage with other content, build that community that way, support other creators in the space. And I think the moment I found kind of how I want to approach that, because there's definitely a line with overconsumption, and then you can go down into the weeds with that, but you really got to uh, treat this online community as if you're meeting a friend for lunch once a week kind of thing. Like you got to put in the
Hmm.
effort and build uh, strong relationship that way. And I have a creator friend like I've never met before, but she's all the way like in the Philippines, and we talk probably more times than the person, my neighbor, next door, things like that. You just got to treat them like real people, because they are at the end. Obviously people are real people on these platforms at the end of the day, but I think recently there's been this shift where people on social, probably because of the pandemic, it's just been so much more humanizing to interact with each other, and very much needed, especially as we break away from kind of just this over perfected and aesthetically pleasing content. So it's really just, it's humanizing yourself in this space and giving yourself grace for not showing up perfectly, and then also connecting and applauding others doing the same.
I like that. And I have a personal question here. I saw last time I checked your YouTube channel, you still had great followers, subscribers, but did you grow a lot with that last New York video,
Yeah.
or am I missing something?
No, that
How?
one definitely, I've been there's a few creators that are specifically kind of in your guys' space about education about YouTube,
Yeah.
but intentionally started learning more about YouTube and how to, you know, write better descriptions for SEO and just little things like that. And I wouldn't say my titles and everything are SEO focused, but because I'm a consumer in my specific demographic, very much I consume a lot of YouTube. I've been a YouTube watcher, and oh, you have it too, vidIQ. So I use that a lot,
Yeah.
but it's really emulating, consuming like an artist, emulating what I would watch and starting to write titles as they were headlines to a news article. Like what's gonna grab your attention versus blend into all the other kind of tutorial, kind of typical travel things and travel vlogs. I've done other videos that kind of broke down, I think, the typical titles, that kind of like the Mr. Beast approach, where they include a number in the title,
Yeah.
disappear for 2 to 4 months. They include a number, they include a very like clear cut, like this is what you're going to expect in this. I
Hmm.
decided to take a different approach this year into kind of enter that mystery, in the sense, if I were using an article and need you to click and read the whole thing.
That's all. Listen, look at the great comments, Gabby. I know you've seen them, but everyone else, read them with me because it's inspiring. It must make you feel amazing, Gabby, where you're heading. Cinematography is on point. As a New Yorker, I think you spent your time super wisely, which I really loved that one. And then look at this, only 30 seconds in, and I had to subscribe. It's hard to find genuine people on social media. And then the other one, look at this. So glad the algorithm suggested this video to me. That monologue in the intro was straight from a rom-com. This this is the type of stuff that we all want to create, or at least connect with our audience in a similar fashion. How long does it take you to prepare and then edit and then throw out there? Is it all just you, or do you have a team?
Right now, it's just me, and the creative process is not linear. It's certainly not linear. It always starts with an idea. I'm a big writer. I write any thought that comes in my brain down, whether it be in my notes app or in my notebook on a sticky note. And I love, honestly, the notes app on our phone is such an underrated tool. I think it can do so much. You can link to other notes now, which I just discovered. I'm sure it was there, but that changed the game for me. I'll write whole scripts in there. So just depending on how uh, current your idea may come, and how quickly you can execute it, it really depends. But for me, I kind of gave myself this shelf expiration life of an idea, is that if I have it and I feel strongly about it and I'm able to outline it that day, I need to execute it within a 7-day turnaround in some way, or else it's going to get put into the back of the dusty shelf in my mind, and it probably won't be revisited till later. Editing, I edit in Adobe Premiere Pro. It takes a long time. There's no and again, I've
It
been
does.
I've been testing and learning since 2018, And I can tell you the amount of times I had technical difficulties, like cried because I lost footage or lost my whole sequence, because it's all trial and error. If you're not taking a class to kind of teach you the ropes from your starting point. But thankfully, like that New York video specifically, I felt like I went into it. I went into filming that trip with the editing and my post production in mind. So that made it a lot more seamless. So always having kind of your consumer facing product, the thumbnail, the storyline in mind before filming helps a lot. Um, I try to not, you guys brought up thumbnail earlier. So underrated. Your thumbnail is everything, truly. So having your thumbnail and your outline in mind before filming, it sounds so, I don't know, it sounds so basic, but it's so crucial. Especially when you go into editing, or else you're just gonna end up with so much more to go through at the end. Depending, a reel can take me 2 hours if I sit down and edit it and post it, or it could take me a week. So it really depends.
Yeah, this is the thumbnail for the New York one that you just did 3 weeks ago. Right there. So people understand what that goes through. Look, we'd love to talk deeper about SEO and description. Gabby, we'd love to bring you into a group coaching session just to go on how you discover that. So that could be separate. But Jeff, what are your thoughts on, and I know you and I both watched some of her videos, but what are your thoughts on how she edits her videos for engagement from the very beginning? Because their hooks are so good. Your hooks are great, Gabby.
Thank you.
Um, what are your thoughts on that, man? Well, you're muted, buddy. You're muted.
How about now?
There, you're good.
So I actually wanted to ask a different question that
Shoot.
I think everybody's thinking is, all right, I now heard you say you use a professional camera, you use Adobe Premiere, which is advanced. I hear you telling me that it takes sometimes weeks to edit a video. And I think that the initial reaction from everybody is going to be like, I'm out. No way. I can't do this. And so I really would love to ask you, just assume that someone in this audience reaches out to you and says, what do you suggest I do? And I don't have that skill set. I'm 55 years old. I don't have a professional camera. I'm willing to invest in a tripod and some microphones and things like that and learn some things, but I don't feel like that's going to be the best use of my time. But I do want to have a bigger presence. What would you tell them?
Hire a video editor. There's so many. The influx of inbound emails that I get offered for video editing. I'm not willing to let go of that quite yet, because I've always loved that part of the process, and that is kind of where I get creative and have fun with it. But if it is a skill that takes time and patience with yourself to learn, and if you just don't have time in your business where you're strong already, it's like, the tales all the time. Just delegate it out. Like there's so many video editors, VAs that can video edit now. And yeah, there's an abundance of that. There's certainly not a lack thereof.
There are a lot. There are a lot.
Yeah. I saw Hector ask a question
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
my
it's a great
intention.
question.
Yeah. So I actually started a
Which
separate
question?
channel.
Which question?
Oh, how am I building, am I just building a channel? What's my intention with my vlogs, and how does this translate into real estate? So I took a little break from posting real estate content, I think this past year, just to kind of find where I can emerge my vlog style and real estate, because I don't see myself as necessarily like a real estate educator, but I just didn't know how I wanted to approach it yet. So I just started a separate real estate channel and feel a lot more comfortable where I can bring my two passions together. And I am just going to continue building my personal channel, because with that reach, it is top funnel marketing. And the moment I post something about real estate on my story, I don't even have to do a regular post. I get other agents interested that I can strike conversations with, that I point to my real estate page, that I get to talk about EXP, and I get friends who are actually in the market who don't necessarily want to follow my real estate just yet, but have had some clients come the next year and tell me they're ready to buy. So it's there. It's kind of like the room of requirement. It'll emerge when needed. But
The room of requirement.
yeah.
I should have worn my Harry Potter
Yeah.
stuff. I'm sorry. So
It'll
cool.
pop up when the time comes, and uh it's always there. So I try to sprinkle in here and there about my real estate business on my main lifestyle personal brand. But that's why I also started a separate real estate YouTube channel, also for SEO purposes, because the moment someone searches Seattle real estate home tour, I want my real estate channel to come up.
What's your real estate channel?
It's just Gabby Real Estate. I didn't get too creative with the name.
Okay.
Again, simple for
Perfect.
searching. I've just posted one video. It was actually a recent listing. So that was my first kind of jab at how I can film myself like I do in public, but how can I film myself in a listing?
Got
The
it.
authentic stuff, I'm going to use that word because it is what it is.
Mm.
But the authenticity, the vlog style, the behind the scenes, the personal stuff, that's the answer. One of the answers to Hector's question is, will cause people to stalk you and search you. They will
Mm.
find that you do real estate and they will become raving fans. That's the answer. But it's not fast and it's not easy. And that's
No,
not
it's
what
not
anybody wants to
a
hear.
yeah. Sorry, yeah, it's not like I'm generating tons of leads from short form video. And if it was one of my friends who's a big YouTuber but turned real estate YouTuber, every week she texted me and was like, when are you going to start your YouTube channel? Because all of her leads come from her real estate YouTube channel. And she just sits back and lets that attract clients, and it works
Yeah.
great. And so that was really my push to do that.
Yeah.
That's the
But I
future we
mean,
actually live in, which is perfect.
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm,
I mean, we know many agents that have, like, I was interviewing somebody last week, a couple weeks ago, that went from 5 million to 50 million as a result of YouTube. And it
mhm.
was a process, and she didn't get her first lead for 6 months, and
Yep.
it took time. But here's what I do want to say, Tristan, to everybody listening to this, because social media isn't just about lead generation. It's also about being a CRM. And that's part of the thing that a lot of people just miss, because we use all of these, I'm going to use the word antiquated, text message, phone calls, door knocking, email, which is invasive to people's time. And we actually genuinely think people want to hear from us. They don't. But you have this opportunity to hit them on social by just stalking them, by just showing up every time they post. You're hitting them with that dopamine feel. And now all of a sudden you're top of mind. So what Gabby's doing is lead gen. But what she's going to shift to in 10 years when she's got a massive book of business is probably more CRM usage of social media and staying top of mind. And it's so incredibly powerful that so many people are it's going right over their head, because they're, oh gosh, it's not going to drive me leads for 6 months, a year, 2 years, screw it, I'm out. But it's a completely different mindset shift when you reframe how social is for you. Y'all got to
Yeah.
stop watching cat videos. You got to stop watching dog videos and cooking videos and stop watching Gabby. I mean, no offense, but Gabby's got it figured out. She spends all of her time on creation, so you're all watching her. And that's the reframing on social that we all have to have.
Mhm.
It's a long-term commitment for sure.
Bingo.
It wasn't until this past year my content friend and I sat down with each other virtually. We meet once a week, and it was like, are we doing this or not, kind of thing. Like, we've tried inconsistently, both
Mm.
of us, since 2018, and we like wrote out our goals, and we're not turning back now. And the only way to quote unquote fail is if you stop. Like, if you're consistent, it doesn't have to be amazing content. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means, but if you show up every every day that you pick, or every week, like, growth is inevitable.
Yeah,
That's very
it
true.
really
I
is.
like that. So what are you working on this year that you're
Mhm.
excited about when it comes to, it looks like YouTube is your primary one. and you do the shorts on Instagram for Reels. But so what are you focused on for YouTube this year?
Is really capturing more. This is where I kind of felt uncomfortable first to share, but being more open about how I'm trying to balance both of these kind of lives and being open about having a real estate business and also trying to do content nearly as full time and showcasing that as that part of the journey and
Mm.
showing how I got into real estate. And that's kind of where I want to focus my efforts on my real estate channel. Again, and kind of weave in that's what I love about YouTube. You can link other videos within the videos with cards and in the descriptions and everything. So I kind of want to hint on my lifestyle page that what I do for work because it gets lots of questions. And then those who are interested can find more information on my real estate page. Um,
You're creating a
so
funnel inside of the description page. I like that.
just trying to focus on that. And then with my platform in general, I'm really trying to focus on uplifting mental health platforms. So that'll be coming out soon, and just working with brands that work just make our lives easier, help entrepreneurs with busy lives, and who are also just trying to get into the creative space themselves.
I like that.
What else do you do to prospect or create business? Anything?
I used to do long when I first got started, I knocked on a few doors by myself. It was scary. So I don't do that anymore. I'm really I host, open houses here and there, but I kind of made this promise to myself in a trade-off. I was like, if I'm gonna sit at a open house for 3 hours, I can do 3 hours recording a video as well and posting that, because that will live on the internet and is like a virtual open house that will continue to attract. So
That's a
I'm
powerful
going
statement right there. I
yeah,
like that.
I'm going full into YouTube as my lead generation. If it takes time, so be it. I've done it this long by now, so I can do it a little bit longer.
Gabby, what's that play button on your
I made it.
top right? Tell me
It's
about
a
that.
it's a DIY play button. I kind of made it as a manifestation for that 100K play button, but it was also my personal reminder that we need to celebrate the small wins. Jeff, 1,000 subscribers is so hard to get to. Like even that first like 1,000 is honestly the hardest because your algorithm is being built. Like people are just finding you, and just don't stop, because the moment you hit 1,000, like the algorithm will start pushing your things in all different directions. And but yeah, that was my self reminder that we need to celebrate the small wins. So that's a 5,000 plaque that I made with sticky notes and a book. Yeah,
I love that.
yeah,
I thought it
thank
was
you.
something like that. So that's
Yeah,
super.
it's,
Everyone,
we're always focused on the next thing. We got to celebrate the small stuff.
I like that. I
Yeah,
like that. And everyone who joined us for this session, Gabby, would love to have you back later on. And you're doing such a great job. I bet you we see a different side of you in 2 months. So let's see.
hope so.
Let's see what happens.
Hope
Gabby,
so.
thank you
Thank you
for
for
doing
having me.
this. Yeah, thank you. This is great. Jeff,
Yeah,
anything, buddy?
I got a ton of questions, but I guess we're gonna have to hold out for the next time.
Yeah. For those of you who are joining in group coaching, we'll have Gabby back. Thank you, Gabby. Keep on
You
doing
ever
an
need a
amazing
third
job.
wheel? You ever need a third wheel on a date? I just want to go along on the
It won't
journey.
be New
The
York.
food
It
looks
won't be
good.
alone in New York. It wouldn't work, Jeff. It wouldn't work.
The next time my wife and I are in Seattle, I'm gonna be like, honey, I'm inviting ourselves on a date, just so you know.
I knew,
just,
yes,
just to like
funny.
shadow a fly on the
And
wall. Someone.
I'll be like, hey guys, we're
Yes. So good. So
Well,
good.
thank
Thank
you
you
again
so
for
much,
having me,
Gabby.
guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for being on. We appreciate you.
Of course.